And you're live.
And we're live.
Here we are on Tuesday, May 25th, 2019. City, Ruth, and Matt. Maybe Stella would join us, or Mike as well. He should be getting home soon, I think. But we're going to get started. Sharing my screen now. And yeah, like I was talking to you about the website one. Right, this one here is a different branch, which is now passing. I mean, maybe you know the answer to this. I mean, this might be a stupid question, but I feel like I know the answer, but I could be, I don't know. Like, this is for a different ticket where we had like a bug on deploying stuff that's like keeping us from just deploying stuff to the develop server and to staging server and then to production. And basically I traced it down yesterday to this line here where it's checking new languages for, and then that's like, this is a method that takes in a project and then returns like new languages for that project. And then it iterates over each of them. And then for each language, it like adds like it grabs the join table project.languages and it like appends either the language that it finds or the language that, or creates one by the name language. But then I was reading about this find or create by being kind of flaky, and it doesn't always find the language like by the name. And so like what they suggested in the documentation is to use to rescue, like, so sometimes it'll try to create to add a language to a project languages join table that already exists, and then because we have unique constraints on the join table, then it'll fail. And so the documentation suggested adding like rescuing those and just retrying. So it's like here, this method always returns a record, but if creation was attempted and failed due to validation errors, it won't be persisted. So you get what create returns in such a situation. Please note that this method is not atomic. It runs first a select, and if there are no results, an insert is attempted. If there are other threads or processes, there's a race condition between both calls, and it could be the case that you end up with two similar records. Whether that's a problem or not depends on the logic of the application, but in the particular case in which rows have a unique constraint, an exception may be raised. Just retry. So then it suggests doing a rescuing the active record not unique errors, and then just retrying it. So I added this, and then the test started reliably passing. But then Sam gave me a PR review and said, like, it might be worth adding a logging statement before retry. So I did that, like, before retry. Like, it said, like, it, yeah, this statement is not reached. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I added it before, but then the tests were failing. And then I added it after, and then because this is never reached, it then the test is reliably passing. So I guess I probably can put this to the side for now, because this is not what I was telling you about. But now you can see now it's failing for the same reason, you know. So for some reason, oh right. Well, I think I need to pass an error here, though, right?
Yeah, that's attempted to add.
Yeah, where you're logging error from where? So maybe that just it, and then I can just push this up and change branches. Yeah, cool. Okay. So add everything, get commits, add error, logging, and get push origin head. And so basically what I've been doing with the React front end is that we have a branch that's called the Doku deploy branch. And the Doku deploy branch is what I'm deploying to our Azure Doku server. And it's like 130 commits. And we're like not able to just merge the whole thing into, like, because some of the things like kind of rely on us being ready to like switch over from using a Rails front end to using a React front end. Like the login, for example, is like kind of acting up a little bit, different little things. So, and anyways, it's like 130 commits. So it's something that's probably better to be breaking up into piece by piece and getting certain things merged in, and then other things merged in.
Yeah.
So, but basically, like the task that I think I need to take on with, hopefully with other people's help that are interested, is like there's some changes here. They're like this overcommit is what I was telling you about. That's for like adding Git hooks. Like we don't need to worry about that. This is about like Doku specific stuff that is actually not even working. So we don't need to worry about that. There's like some changes to the Docker file. Like, I mean, but then there's like a bunch of like changes to the API that we need to like put in PRs for, which are relatively straightforward. The only thing is that I need to like, so the events API, we need to put in a PR for that, but then like it needs to be tested as well. So yeah, there's the events, there projects I already put in a PR. So maybe the best place would be to start looking at that one and see what we need to do as far as testing. And then there's like static pages, and there's users API, and there's this JavaScript stuff we don't need to worry about because it's like to get it to work, the PayPal stuff to work in the front end. And there's a PR already in for that. Then there's like there's some stuff with like API registrations, like there's this stuff here for the OAuth. This stuff is changing for the OAuth. I mean, some of this stuff can't be merged in until we're kind of ready to make the decision to move, All this is to support the Slack notification. I think this is in the wrong place. Slack notifications.
So if I understand, you want to integrate all these commits to the actual backend.
Yeah, that's right. But it's tricky because some of them can't be merged in to develop and like moved along the pipeline, because then it'll break things until we actually do make the move to production. So like the things that we know for sure that we can put in is all the APIs, and like finish up the PayPal stuff. That's stuff for sure that can be done. Just having a look. I mean, it's really kind of, I guess, taking a piece at a time, because there's so much stuff here, right?
Yeah, but I think if we find a good way to tackle it, we can do a good work.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it won't take too long, you know, like, being coordinated, you know.
Mm-hmm.
How far down does this go? I guess like the one thing that I can show you quickly is like which you may or may not have seen is like this is the site that it's being deployed to is this develop.website1.agileVentures.org, and so you could have a look at that. Like it's unfortunately it's like on a virtual machine that's like competing with. It's on the same virtual machine. Like there's a VM that has like 8 gigabytes or something, and there's like 8 or 10 apps there. So like I have a cron job that restarts the VM every morning at 9 a.m. But like 9 a.m. my time. But now it's like 3 p.m. my time, and so you can see it's kind of like a bit unresponsive, really.
Yeah.
What I can do is like switch to the branch itself and just show you some stuff locally if it's not gonna. So RVM use 2.5.3 is it? I think, or I might have changed it to 2.5.1. Can't remember. Rails server. No, it's still 2.5. Yeah, you see it's like, yeah. I mean, it's like kind of sleeps, I guess, If it hasn't been reached in a while, it just kind of sleeps, and then if you refresh the page, it goes back. But like, so if I try to log in, for example, I've gotten this to where I think it works with manage passwords. I think if I just do that, where it kind of no. So now like because I changed this to work with the auth to work with the front end. So I'm not sure if I have one of these dummy passwords or something. No. I think I have. Yeah, I think I have new user 2, and then user 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So it's like it. I mean, so if this were to be merged into to develop and onto production before we're ready to like switch, you can see it kind of works like now the user login from the Rails front end, but it's kind of like a little bit broken as well in that it's supposed to redirect you to the home page, which I guess would be a relatively easy change to make. But like this is bypassing the devise session and is using a custom like login through API session.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, maybe not something to be too worried about. Like, yeah, I think for the most part, it most of the stuff could probably just get merged in, like before we're ready. Yeah. I think the place to start is like getting the PayPal. The PayPal one is the biggest one, which I told you Tim had an idea of how we could try to get past that blocker. But then after that, then all the API ones would be the place to go, where like the changes are quite simple. It's just like kind of basically really just copying and pasting what we have in the other branch. But then the thing is that like this is failing all of the code climate stuff because it's like dropping the coverage for everything. So like this is not right. First of all, it's not 36% covered. So like we have some flakiness with the code climate stuff, but then also like, you know, how Sam said he's not a fan of doing those like request specs or something like this. But then how can we test these API endpoints with Cucumber, I guess?
For me, testing the API request tests are the best way to test APIs.
Yeah. So, but so are you suggesting like we should write request specs or that if we don't write
yeah, we should. For me, for example, I don't write controller tests anymore.
Yeah.
And I just have feature tests and model tests, unit tests.
Yeah.
And if in some way I'm faced to an API, I think it's better to write request tests. And yeah, after also the feature test will cover the API, but it's better to test the API by isolation. So
okay.
Yeah, I think.
I mean,
yeah.
Do you think that you might want to pull this branch down and do some driving to like write some request specs for this?
This one?
Yeah, the projects API.
Okay. Just right now.
I mean, it's up to you. I can do it as well if it's better if it's better for you. But
No.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
I think I can do it.
Cool. Because then, like, I think it would keep us busy enough. Like, I think we have like 5 or 6 endpoints that we need to like, put in PRs for and then write tests for. So
right.
I think that'll keep us busy for a couple weeks. Or depends. I guess depends on how often we meet on it. But the PR is this one here, or the branch. Sorry, and that's on. I don't know if you have it set up as upstream. Maybe.
Yeah, I get.
Rick, do you have any questions?
None so far.
Okay, cool. Just share your screen whenever you're ready.
Okay.
I guess I don't have a JSON thing here. I guess while Siddhar's doing that, I'll just show you, like, this is one of the endpoints, for example, for the one that we're putting in the PR right now for the IFR that we're going to work on is the projects. And so what we're doing from the front is we're hitting this endpoint API v1 projects, and then it's returning with like a list of projects, which I think there's 100. Yeah, there's 145 projects, and then each one of those projects is like a JSON object that has like ID and title and description and status and other things like that. And then we also are returning like the followers with the key being the name of the project and the value being the number of followers. And then we have like documents, which like is the same thing, how many documents the project has. And then also it has its languages. So like each project has certain languages that come from GitHub. We have like if you go to any of the projects on GitHub, any repos, you can see like, I don't know if you've seen this before, but this feature here where you can click on it and it tells you like the breakdown of which project, which languages it uses. Awesome.
Just share it, the link for it.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Copy link address and come here. Join collaboration session. Okay.
Is it this one? Legacy API subscription?
It's the Update Projects API. Did you see the link that the link to the branch name?
Oh yeah, the branch name, yeah. But the file,
Yeah. So we have like a, yeah, let me see if I've gotten in. Yeah, I'm in now. So we have some tests related to some API stuff here. Yeah, so there's like legacy API subscriptions. Yeah, okay, that's what you're talking about. Yeah. So I think we don't have any other API. We don't have any tests, any specs for the like new Grape API that we're using.
is it an API we're creating?
Is it an API? Sorry.
Is it an API that we create?
It is.
Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Like if you look at like the projects API, it's a class API which inherits from Grape API, and then it has like version 1 and format JSON, prefix with API.
And what's the Grape API?
Yep. And then basically we have like 1, 2, 3, 4 different endpoints.
Oh, okay.
I'll just have a quick look to see. I'm just thinking about what Sam was saying about doing some end-to-end tests, and I don't think.
When I was saying that using request tests for APIs, I was mostly referring to external APIs.
Yeah.
But in this case, I think what we need is just like class test, like not a model test, but yeah, I think request tests will make it.
I found this article by this person, I don't know who it is, talking about like some Rails API testing best practices. I mean, it's from 2013, but it's saying like to test a properly designed API should return two things: an HTTP response status code and the response body. Testing status code is necessary for web applications with user authentication and resources with different permissions. I mean, I think with the project's API is like where anybody who wants that stuff can have it. But so we're not doing any like 401s or 403s or anything. Then it's saying like API testing is integration testing.
Yeah.
So it's saying like for user interaction, Capybara is my testing tool of choice, but it's the wrong tool for API testing APIs. Do not test APIs with Capybara. So that's what we're using for Cucumber. So I guess we instead use Rack test rather than Capybara internals. Use RSpec request specs, which is what you're suggesting. Request specs provide a thin layer around Rails integration tests and are designed to drive behavior through the full stack, including routing provided by Rails and without stubbing. That's up to you. To test requests and the responses, just add a new request spec. So describe messaging APIs. So it's like, something that inside the request, you can have like a directory called API, and then inside the directory API have another directory v1, and inside of that we can have like project spec.rb. And then it's like factory girl create a list of messages, in our case probably project, and then all right, that seems straightforward.
So projects message projects API. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, also we can link to like this blog post in the.
I've sent a link comparing controller testing and request testing.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good, from 2018 as well. I mean, it seems like the trend is moving like away from controller testing to request specs. Is that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And it seems like request specs would probably work better with like stuff we're doing with APIs as well, right? Because it's not actually, there's no actual controller.
What do you mean by there's no actual controller?
Because we're the API doesn't have like if I don't know if you can see on my screen, it has it's a class, but it's not a controller, you know, like it lives in the app, and then in the app it lives in API. Whereas like, you know, we have some controller specs which are testing things that live in different controllers, like, you know, the event instances controller, for example. But in this case, like this API.rb is like inside of a directory API and then inside of another directory projects, you know.
I don't think I've understood.
I think it's like, you know, Rails works like on the MVC, right? Models, views, and controllers. And in this case, where this API is not a controller, you know, like so I think a controller spec wouldn't be the proper way to test it, because we're not actually hitting any controller. We're hitting like this project class, which is just this project's module, which has a class API, which has different resources that set up the routing for it, but there's no controller, you know.
Okay, but also I think you can have a request spec even when you have the controller.
Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's like what I think the trend is to like, so well here they have this user's controller, and there's the controller spec, and then what do they give here for the example? Like, yeah, here they give like describe users, but then I think this user.create is hitting the same code base, like, so it would hit the controllers in that, you know, in that example.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think controller specs will continue to be supported until at least version 4.0. But yeah, like controller specs for users describe behavior of Rails controllers. As of version 3.5, however, controller specs are discouraged in favor of request specs. Yeah, so I think request specs you can use for controllers, or you could use for things like APIs, you know?
Yep, it's for both.
Yeah. So, did you get in to the code?
Yeah.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
So how can we help you, Sede? We basically need to have 4 different.
Yeah, I was figuring out what this could do.
Yeah. I mean, also as well, if you're looking at it and you think of like a better way of doing it, we can go improving the code as well. If you, I didn't. It's, you know, part of, we got it working this way, but I'm not necessarily sure that it's the best way of doing it.
Yeah. I mean, we just try to return all the projects, right? As it is described here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit more complicated than that, because it's I don't know if it may be difficult to understand, or like, but what we're doing is we're iterating through all of the projects, and we're adding like these things from join tables. So there's like a project.followers join table, and there's a project.documents join table, and there's like a languages join table. So
why don't you use includes?
Yeah, that's probably a better way of doing it.
I don't know if we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
But if project have the relationship with followers, so include will just include all the followers of the project.
Yep. So
all right.
If I'm looking at, like, we use those a lot in models, right?
Yeah, in models, yeah. So like if you write the test, I mean, we want to have a list. We want a list of projects.
Yes, we want a list of projects. Yeah, and we, I think.
List of projects.
Yep.
Like that. Maybe we can create with factory bot.
Yep.
Let's say 5.
Yep.
So we expect. Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
So we expect that when we visit the root, maybe it's not root but API
V1 projects.
API V1 projects. We expect response code to be
Yeah. Response dot to be success. All right.
okay. We can say that. Can you repeat, please, Matt?
It's expect response and then dot to and then be success.
Okay, be success. Okay.
I think it's with a underscore. And then let's
Like that.
yeah, and then let's run that to take it one step at a time.
But I don't think that's the only expectation we should have.
Well, maybe not. I know. I don't think. I don't.
Maybe
think,
we can maybe make this a context and figure out different things inside. But
yeah.
first of all, we can just try this and see.
Yeah, I was thinking. One of the reasons I was thinking of running the test now is just because things like this create list this relies on us having like the configuration set up to, we might need to do factory bot dot create list or something, and then if we run the test now and
Okay.
hopefully that
I think create list comes with factory bot in default. Oh, spec helper.
But we it's kind of good practice to avoid having multiple expectations in the same if block, right? So we could have like a describe block,
Yeah.
and then have some before each stuff, and then do like expect response to be success, expect response to like dot count or whatever. Or
Can you say that? It
succeeds, yeah, with a double E and
right. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yep. Should I do it before each block already, or
Sorry?
should I do it before block already, or wait until we need it?
We can wait.
Okay. So I get like we're not using this list of projects yet.
Yeah. You're right. Bye.
Cool.
Okay,
Nice.
interesting. Succeeds. Okay.
So then, like, you might want to you want to write like an it block that checks the length of the projects, or
Okay. Not specially. Yeah, the length. Yeah.
because then we could do like I'm probably gonna do this wrong. I think it's like that, right? Then we could do like this here,
Mhm.
which actually right now we don't even need the variable, and then we could do like this, right? And then we have an it block that says it succeeds, and then we can do like it was doing in this other one where it parses the response body, and then expects the JSON project's length to be 10 to equal 10.
Okay. Five or 10?
Ah, 5. Sorry. Yeah. Mike is here. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, Mike is here.
Hey,
What's up with you?
just sneaking, trying to figure out what's going on.
Yes. Good. Awesome. That's what we want, Mike. Why don't you figure out what's going on?
Yeah.
Uh,
So you are writing specs for the APIs.
yeah. Correct. That's it. And
We
then
expect that response that body to what you said to.
I think it was like what they were doing in that blog I was finding is they're doing like JSON equals JSON.parse, and then they're parsing the response.body, and then they're doing like the expect JSON and then like sub projects. I don't know if sub's the right word, or if you know what I'm talking about, like square brackets, and then
okay.
I don't know if it needs to be a string or if it can be a symbol, but I think it probably
it's JSON. I think it's better to make it like that.
Yeah, because it's a JSON, right? So then that dot length to equal 10.
Length or size? Or both?
It's length. I don't know if it works with size. I wonder if there's not like RSpec doesn't have like to have length instead of doing like that.
Okay, also line 14. I should write everything because we changed it.
Yeah, it's dot length.
Okay, cool.
Dot length. Okay. Yeah.
That works.
Well, Cirrus screen today looks better.
Yeah, it does.
Let me try to just force it and see if we're not having some issues.
Yeah. Great idea. Don't trust the test until it breaks, right?
Yeah.
So I guess like then we could be. Right.
You see?
Yeah.
You see?
That's not
Something wrong here.
That's not crazy.
Can we
On here.
binding after the JSON to check what JSON has?
Yes, that's a great
Thank
idea.
you, thank you. You're definitely right.
You think
So
you
we
think
have
just
Bible.
like Matt, you know?
I mean,
After line 16, I think.
yeah,
After line 16.
you can always
Yeah.
do next, but yeah, you might as well stop it there. And you know, you could use ByBug, but you could also use Pry. You know.
I
Yeah.
don't know if there is Pry here.
Yeah, it's in website 1. You know,
Okay.
website 1 actually has Pry ByBug that has like everything that you need to do like binding.pry.
Binding that Pry, yeah, okay.
It has everything that's good about ByBug, but with the nice color coding of CodeRay.
Oh. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries. Mike, we have a couple. There's a couple like blogs and stuff that Ruth shared. One of them I shared the other one. We were having a look at like the difference between controller tests and request specs and also about how to test APIs.
Yeah, nice.
So we're having a look at that, and then also we were having a look at whether we can refactor this, which would mean we probably would need to refactor it in the front end as well, but like refactor the API, because at the moment we're doing this kind of like, you know, grabbing these empty hashes and like merging the like a key of the project title and then grabbing information from the join tables. And then Siri was asking why we're not just using includes. So that's kind of interesting. So while we're waiting for Siri, I can.
I'm back. Sorry.
Oh, cool. Hey.
So
yeah.
Okay.
Save
we
it.
included a Pry and we need to run the test.
Yep.
I don't know you guys, but me, I prefer to run everything here.
So this thing about for Aspect 3.5 release.
For what?
Yep.
So does it apply in places where we are not having APIs, or does it only apply?
Yes, I think it applies for, like, there's a move to between RSpec 3.5 and RSpec 4. There's like, you know, starting and discouraging people from using controller specs. And then when you get to RSpec 4 is like not supporting controller specs any longer.
Okay.
Oh, is it because I use? Oh, not be that. In the Pry, the thing is saying that it's equal to 5.
Yes. Could you maybe have run the test before you saved it and
I don't know. It's some kind of wording in. Yeah. It's that, because it's saying here expected 6 but got 5.
all right, cool. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
So I mean, if I save here, it's kind of tricky sometimes when you have VS Code live
Yeah,
sharing running. Yeah, you have to.
it doesn't save properly, right?
Yeah.
Matt,
Sure.
I feel like
Yep.
this tests are very slow. Sorry. Go on, Matt.
live share.
Ah,
I
live share.
can't.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you
I find it a little bit difficult to follow.
go. Yeah, I mean, especially if
Cyrils.
My screen is
Yeah, it's become.
a bit small.
I think it loads a little slow on my end. So
Okay.
I think on live share it will work just fine.
All right. So it's passed. Everything working great. So, Matt,
yes,
we need like projects to have also followers.
yes, it needs to have
followers.
the followers, documents, and languages.
So if we comment this and we just say project,
Yeah, then it will. We
I think
expect that will.
our test will pass.
Yeah, I agree.
It will pass, right?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's the same as like what we're doing on line 39, except for we're just grabbing the active projects. But yes.
Okay.
I was just on my side. I was trying to do that where you're saying about includes, and it was not. It wasn't recognizing followers, but like maybe it would for documents. It does for documents. But then does it add the documents to the, I think it doesn't add the documents to the project object.
Okay.
Anyways, we can get there one step at a time. It failed?
It failed because I think on line 28, we returning products inside have some kind of lower.
Oh,
how can
right.
I say it?
So you need to do something like this?
Yeah.
Or like maybe it needs to be inside of this?
Yeah, inside of yeah.
So that should pass. But then
Yes.
I think also there's no reason why instead of doing project all, we can just do that ordered projects, right? Which should pass as well.
But I mean here, the thing is we returning all project. I think we can figure out how we can put active records to have projects and to have those followers inside the project's hash or JSON thing object.
Yep.
Because
no, I agree.
Those are related things, right?
Yes, but I think like we definitely want that. But the ordered projects, what the ordered projects does is it just like orders them based on their status ascending. So it like gives the active projects first, and then it orders them based on last GitHub update descending.
Yeah.
And then orders based on commit.
But I mean, any followers that we have is related to a specific object, to a specific project.
Yeah, correct.
Am I right? So, so I mean, follower should be a lower level of projects.
Right. Yeah, I get that. I mean, at the moment, what we were doing is just like giving it a key of like the title of the project, and then grabbing that project.
I think this is like this can be improved by active records, but
Yeah.
you have to figure out.
Okay.
You have to figure out which right SQL argument you have to use.
Yeah.
SQL query you have to use.
So you're suggesting like taking it, like commenting this out, and then writing tests, like, and getting them to
Yeah,
fail,
like
getting a
just
failing
maybe,
test, and then adding the test that we need to get it to pass.
yeah, trying. I don't know if we do not follow this kind of way of doing the things, if it will impact on the other sides of the application.
Yes, I mean it'll break the other side of the application, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't
It will
do
break.
it. We can definitely refactor the front end to like, you know, if
But it will take more time. I mean,
it will, yeah.
yeah, it will cost a lot.
I mean, it's kind of like if there's a good reason for, I mean, if the reason for wanting to refactor is that it'll make our API more performant, then I think it probably makes sense. Like if it's just a style thing, then I think it might not be worth it. But if it makes it faster or more performant, then I think we can refactor the front end. You're kind of like we have some energy for people working on the front end, and we're kind of running out of some tasks to do on the front end. So if we need to refactor some things, that's okay.
Yeah, I don't know how you think about it, guys, but for me, I think that it makes more sense that like the followers belongs to a project.
Yeah.
And yeah, to kind of have it like a lower level of project, and also documents, I mean, and languages also as a lower level. I mean, every time when we browse the API, if we have a project, and inside that project you can find all the followers of that specific project, and all the documents of that project, and also all the languages of that project, and it makes more sense like to have it like this. And we have, if we design it like this, you have to, in these documents, to kind of refer to the project, to like include a kind of project ID.
Yep.
Something like that. And yeah,
like what we're doing, like project
doable
title. We have to have a key to set title, and then we have to go and look up like. Then what we're doing on the JavaScript side of things is we're like looking up the project title, and then like merging it back into the project. Like, so we're doing what you're suggesting. We're doing that on the JavaScript side of things because it's easy to do it there. But like if we deliver it from the back end the way you're suggesting, then on the JavaScript side, all we have to do is grab it and just return whatever, like store whatever we have from whatever the response from the back end is, start in our store, and then just consume it.
Yeah. So the question is it worth to do it now or just keep it like that?
It's a good question. I don't. I mean,
I think you both Mike and Sam are working on the front, right? Am I right?
Sam's not working. Mike and
I mean Mike and Matt.
Yeah.
So
Mike, do you think it would be a lot of work for us to refactor? Because this is not the only place. This is just so. As we get the API, as we change the API for projects, and then for users, and then for events, then we need to go through and we need to refactor. Like, we need to factor the actions. Basically, is the only thing we need to do, because once the action kind of converts it into the form that Sire is suggesting. So we'd have to like refactor that and refactor the tests, but I don't think it would be a lot of work.
Actually, I haven't really understood what Sire was doing with moving the documents, and
think
Yeah, but I don't think we'd have trouble like refactoring the front end.
I don't know if you. I don't know. Maybe this is not what you're on about today, but I think it would be something like this, and then right. So for each project, you're I think this needs to be a comma, right? Or no? Stop me if I'm doing something completely wrong. Languages, and then like an and here. I'm not sure. Can we do that or no? It doesn't look like it. Expected.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do that, but yeah, it's kind of the idea.
Yeah, it's the idea of what you're talking about, right?
It's kind of the idea, yeah.
Where you have like for each project you're like iterating through each of the projects.
Kind of nested. It's kind of nested.
Yeah.
All the followers, the documents, and the projects are nested inside of a project.
Yeah.
And for me, like it makes more sense.
So like you're adding more keys to the project.
No. We're not writing it right now, but we just explain about how to design it better.
So if you look here, Mike, this is the JSON that's returned. I'll just click on my screen for a second. This is the JSON that's returned when we hit the view on project.
Yeah.
So what Sita is saying is that it doesn't make a lot of sense to have projects, and inside projects we have a list of objects that are projects, right? And then if you click on this one or this 0, sorry, the first project, then it would have all these ID and tag lists and everything, but then it would have another nested
element
attribute, called like followers, which would be
followers,
would be just the count of followers, right? So what we're doing is we're having projects, but then we have followers, and inside the followers we need to have some reference towards which project it belongs to, and then the value that's the number. Whereas if we made it a part of this object here, you wouldn't need to have like, you would know which project it belongs to because it would be nested inside of this.
Yeah, and also in the naming of the API, we're saying that when we hit the API projects, we expect that it returns a project list. But in this case, we are returning list of projects, list of followers, list of documents, and list of languages.
Yeah.
And it's maybe a bit my English is so bad.
I know what you're trying to say. Misleading. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Misleading a bit.
Yes. So
yeah, makes sense.
And then it would be potentially easier on the JavaScript side of things, because then all we have to do is grab the information and just. I
mean, we can also don't include that thing and just return the project as whole, which will have a list of project, and here we have just to say JSON land maybe.
Where are you?
I mean, if you have something like that, which is returning the list of everything, and here we just need to not have this, and I think this will pass.
I somehow can't see your terminal anymore on my side, but I can see it on yours. So, and it looks like, did it pass or is it still running?
It's passed. It passed it.
So can I just like, if you change this instead of having project.all, if you have this as ordered projects, ordered. Yeah, ordered projects, which is going to return all the projects, but just in order. Then it should still pass, right?
Yeah, it should pass. Yeah.
And then you're saying like we can go writing tests that like check that that projects has followers as part of
followers.
and
Yeah,
documents
we can do that.
and languages. And then
Yeah.
we can go adding to line 35 to like get the test to pass.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that idea. And I think that could be a big improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was something about this,
So,
this whole way of doing things that I wasn't happy about, but then I wasn't able to get like a code review on it because I never really put in a PR on it. Like I put in a PR, but it was like, yeah, anyways.
Yeah, yeah. I think I don't know. I don't want maybe to put a lot of work for you guys, but I think this is a very good way of doing it.
No, I mean I think it's good, and I think also like
Yeah.
you know the front end developers need to learn to work with back end developers, right? You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Definitely.
and I mean like you know I like full stack development, so like you know it's the reason why it's so nice to work on a team is because like you can get one thing that works, but then someone comes along and has an idea that like is not going to break it from working, but is going to improve it somehow. And that's really valuable to have that, you know, ability to share
Yes.
experiences and different ways of thinking about the same problem, you know?
Yes.
I kind of need to get going, unfortunately. I hate to drop off because I'm really having fun, but I haven't done any human connection today, really, and I need.
Yes. No problem. If the other guys don't worry me, I'm very excited on working on this thing.
Yes,
and
I mean,
maybe I can continue.
Feel free. I think that you are used to like. Have you put in a PR for Website One before or not yet?
We worked together on the air brake fix, I think.
Oh right, yes. And do you have like, can you push directly to the origin or what you have?
I don't think so. I think I need to.
Let me add you to the Website One collaborators, and then you can just push directly to my PR, my branch. Today.
The Doku one?
No, the one that you pulled down.
Oh, let me send you my credential.
Thanks.
Not my.
Yes. You think
Sire Musadia.
Musadia. Yes, Musadia. I just have recently learned how to say Mike's name. I was calling him Mike Ono, and he's like, "Why keep calling you Mike Ono?" Oh, we pronounce every. So yeah, you should have a link to accept, and then you can push directly here to the 295, and that's great, awesome. Yeah, and then we
push
can.
Where?
I think it's the branch that you're working off of right now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
2954.
Yeah. Okay,
Cool, awesome. So I guess when I drop off, the recording will stop. I'm not sure if everyone wants to stay here, it'll just stop recording. But you certainly can.
I need to drop off also.
Okay.
It's almost time to break.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
So,
cool.
See you.
Awesome.
See you guys.
See you soon. See you, Ruth. Thanks for joining. Yeah, if you're interested, I'll share a link for Human Connection. Is another really cool project that uses Vue.js, and the backend is in Node and uses GraphQL and Neo4j, and some really cool technologies.
Yeah, you can share.
Cool. And Mike, if you're interested as well, you're always welcome.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay. See you in a second.